All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, new boys and girls. Welcome to the show. Welcome to New Stuff TV, the untechnical tech channel. I'm your host, Antoine Charge Me Up Richardson, because today we're going to be checking out this brand new, well, it is kind of brand new for 2022, Anker Powerhouse 757. Man, this is one hell of a portable charger, man. This thing it's on the thick side, as you can see, but I'm glad I have it. I really wanted this thing really bad because I live in Houston, Texas, and we got some situations down here from time to time. Back in, was it 2020? 2021, I don't know what year it was, but it was like a year, 2 years ago, we had this freeze and our power went out. The power grid went out for, y'all remember that stuff. The power grid went out. We was like blasted back into the Stone Ages for like a week. And we have hurricanes literally every year. We've been fortunate enough to not lose power during hurricane season for a few years, but I've been in a prepping mood. I don't want to go without power too long. And I needed something. I didn't want to get a regular gas powered generator because, it's kind of a hassle, man. You got the gasoline and, everything that comes with, right? So I wanted to look at a more sustainable option via solar power. Now, I actually have the 3 solar panels that go with this thing, which makes it a solar generator. But I'll talk about the actual unit first, the Powerhouse 757. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have kind of like a solar power generator situation going. That way I can get through a few days, without any power in my house. Because to be honest with you, in my emergency case, I'm looking to power up my refrigerator or a small refrigerator. I'm looking to power up maybe a fan in the summertime, like hurricane season, or a small heater if we ever have another winter blast, which I doubt that'll ever come. But, something like that. We don't use CPAPs or anything like that, but you need some power, maybe a hair dryer. My wife might still have to go into work, so she's gonna need that hair dryer and that curling iron, you know what I'm saying? Or, maybe a portable AC unit. I have a portable AC unit here, so, we can cool off a room. So we needed some serious hardcore power and amperage, and that's where the 757 comes in. Look at this tank, man. Look at it, just look at it. This is actually a very beautiful device and it's very, very well constructed. I've actually used it in testing purposes just to see what it was capable of doing over a day. You know what I'm saying? And I just love that I have it. I feel a lot more secure. So let's get to talking about some stuff. This is the Untechnical Tech channel. So I don't remember this stuff. I just know what I went through when I was using it, but I'm gonna give you some technical stuff here. You know what I'm saying? We're looking at $22.99 for the price tag, but we're talking 1,500 watts and 3 solar panels that are 100 watts each. So I got one right here. I'll unfold this for you in a minute. But we're looking at 100 watts each, up to 100 watts each. We'll talk about that when we get there, because it's not just going to blast in 100 watts of power into this thing automatically without full sun. But there are some key elements that I want to throw in here, man, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. As you can see, we've got 6 actual AC charging plugs. Okay, so we have the 2 with the regular 2-prong, and then we got, 3 with 2-prong, and then 3 with 3-prong. So you can plug in actual devices. Me personally, I actually did plug in my giant, like full-size refrigerator and freezer just to see how long it would go. I didn't plug it up for the whole day, but I plugged it up for a few hours because a refrigerator turns on to cool and then it will turn off, just to take a little break. So that time period that it displays there is going to fluctuate a little bit, but to be able to plug it in for a few hours and keep your stuff nice and cold, you're good to go. Now remember, in an emergency case situation, your refrigerator and freezer is going to stay cold in the event you don't be opening and closing it and then sitting there looking in there, seeing what you're going to be drinking and stuff like that. So keep that thing closed and then you'll actually conserve power. This is huge. Spending that kind of money, man, you do want some service. You know what I'm saying? You definitely going to want some backup on this. So we got a 5-year warranty, which is actually pretty doggone good considering others only give you like 2 or 3. One other huge thing. So we're talking about using regenerative solar power, right? Which is a slow charge for most items. Every once in a while in that emergency use case scenario where your power goes out for a few days, like hurricane season, I'm speaking from experience. Every once in a while, you'll get a nice little power. They'll turn it on for a bit as they're fixing it. So you might get, 30 minutes, an hour worth of power, then they're cutting it back off. That's what happened during the winter storm, actually. I was really pleased that this thing charges super stupid fast. The fans will kick on the outside, and it's saying it'll take, how much was that? Okay, from 1 hour worth of charging, you can get up to 80% of battery in this thing. So that is amazing to me. And I think I charged it from 20% and it only took about 45 minutes, maybe an hour to charge to full. So I was very, very impressed with that. And it's gonna be a great thing because like I said, every once in a while you get some intermittent power and you might wanna just plug this thing up real quick, take it out of the sun, the solar power deal, plug it up, get that quick charge going, and then you can go again. Oh, you can use this thing as a battery backups, like an UPS UPS system. So you can actually keep this thing plugged in full time. And, should you have a PC, some very expensive gadgets or something, or, something that cannot be interrupted, plug it into here, man. To be able to use this thing as a backups, I'm actually thinking about using that in my master bedroom that's where our most expensive items are. You got your Wi-Fi router, you know what I'm saying? You can keep that Wi-Fi going in the house, a TV, and then we got some other stuff plugged up in there. You can see by the smile on my face, man. I'm really happy to have this thing. Okay, 13 devices is quite a bit. I did not test this out personally. I don't even know if I've got 13 charging cables, okay? So I could not test out the 13 simultaneous device charging, but I'm gonna go ahead and take their word for it. We got 13 devices that you can charge up here. You got a car outlet, so you can, maybe plug in something like with the car, the DC deal, it's got that right there. You've got these USB ports here, which is great because you got these 4 standard USBs with the Charge IQ from Anker, which is something I love. It always just kind of powers up your devices to their maximum or ideal power input. Then you got the USB-Cs there, and then, like I said, you got the 6 AC plugs, the 3 2-prong and 3 3-prong. So you got, man, that is a lot of freaking devices all at the same time. But that's kind of like some semi-technical details, but let me tell you about my experience. So the main thing was the fan. In the Houston heat around hurricane time, it is humid and hot. So you open up your windows or whatever, if you ain't got no power, and the thing you're gonna want is a fan. Fans pull power all the time. As long as that fan is on, it's going to be pulling power. So I needed to make sure I could get just a few hours, at least while I'm sleeping, right? Get the fan turned on, and it worked out fabulous. The amount of time that this thing will run an oscillating fan, I think there was like a, 14, 15 inch oscillating fan on low. I did not turn it on high. The amount of time that it gave me was perfect. Then you can recharge it in the daytime. And then, like I said, I wanted to run the mini fridge as well as the main fridge, not at the same time. I'm gonna have to choose between which one. Most likely the main fridge because it's got the freezer and I can keep my meat cold in there. Want to see how long I could run that, as well as, maybe a portable air conditioner or even a heater in a winter situation. And in my case scenario, charging up, if you charge up phones and stuff, that's lightweight. That's like super easy duty for this thing. I'm looking at the heavy duty stuff, the current that it's gonna draw and the power that it's gonna suck out of this thing. You can run a hair dryer or a curling iron or something like that. Those are items that you do not run a long time. We're talking 15, 20 minutes maybe, and it can hold up to that with no problem at all. That's what I wanted this thing for. Now, the problem is when it does discharge, when you fully depleted this thing, and when I say full depletion, I'm gonna tell you, don't go under 20% in an emergency situation. I've already got it locked in my head. I told my wife, we're not gonna run this thing lower than 20%. 20% is the danger zone for anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, once you get down to 20%, like the anxiety kicks in. So don't go there. I'm pretty sure you can run it down to 0 and you'll have all the power and time you want. But take my advice, man. Don't let your stuff get lower than 20%. Even your phone, dude, stop that mess. So at 20% where I'm gonna keep it, or that's my threshold, that's when I start looking at charging options. And that's why I wanted these 3 solar panels right here. I have the 3 and they are, man, this was a lot nicer than I expected. I'm gonna go ahead and change my camera angles. That way I can open this thing up and show you what's up with this, because yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be this nice, but let's get into it. All right, now as far as the solar panels go, this is it, man. It comes in this folded up briefcase style. You get 3 of them, and I love how portable this is. And it is a very nice quality of fabric that they use. The materials on this is solid, man. I was very, very impressed by what they use for these solar panels. So you see your Anker branding right there and let you know who you're charging things up with. But you see this top pocket right here, it's got this mesh on it. Let's open that up because this is kind of where magic happens. So you got your instructions there, which I'm gonna keep. But right here, if you can look right there, that is a USB-A charging input, or output rather. So you can actually charge up a device via USB-A, just plug it into this little adapter right here and you're good to go. But on the underside of this, hopefully I'm getting a good focus on there, that's where the plug is for the to go into the actual Powerhouse 757. And then you also have a USB-C input right there, or output rather, so you can charge up devices via USB-C. Now let's zip this pocket up and I'll step back so I can show you this bottom pocket. Now this thing does have some weight to it. I'm actually getting a little worn out by holding it, but I did want to open this up because, let me get it. We have 2 things that fell out of here. This is a DC, this one side has DC, the other side has the proprietary inputs for the solar panel, but this is an extension cable. I'm not really sure how long this is. I'm looking at probably like 3 or 4 feet. This is an extension. I did not know this was actually in there, so you're gonna get 3 of these if you get the panel set. That way you can have a little bit more length to drag out the solar panels and possibly keep your 757 inside of the shade or out of harm's way, like rain and snow and stuff like that. You can just drag this out about another 3 or 4 feet. Now you do get a cable that comes with the 757, which is actually right here, and it is plenty long. As a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and unwind it because this one actually has 3. It has one end that goes into the 757, which is here, and then several feet down the road, I would say about 3 feet down the road, it splits up into 3. That's because the 757 can be charged up via 300 watts. We're getting up to 100 watts. This thing is really tangled. We're getting up to 300 watts, 100 watts per solar panel. That's what the capacity is. So you got 3. It splits up into 3 right here. Can you see that right there? All right, there you go. And you got plenty of footage here, but with the added cable here, you just got a little bit more length to put this thing out of harm's way. And speaking of keeping it out of harm's way, I want to show you this little cover right here, which actually came in very handy because, like I said, when I first plugged this thing up and started charging it via solar, I didn't realize it came with the extension cables. So I was able to just kind of put this little cover over it. I didn't want to block the fan, so I just kind of put the cover over it just like this. That way it was out of direct sunlight and the fans could still have some space to breathe. But back to the solar panels. Let's get this thing right here so you can see it. I want to show you how it unfolds. Okay. Oh man, got so much stuff here. Okay, so you just unvelcro just like that. And then what you'll see is it'll unfold. Then you have that, and you see all the solar panels right there. But on the back side of it, this is where a little bit more magic happens. So it has, where is it at? Okay, this is the top, that's the bottom. It has these little legs, like little unipod standing things, so you can tilt this thing up toward the sunlight. You see that right there? So what happens is, let me put it on the ground so you can see. You open it up, just like such. You get them all 4 aiming at the sun, and you have these little flaps right here. You unflap them, and then you can kind of just angle it toward the sun. Now, in the event you are solar charging, remember, the sun moves. Well, the sun doesn't move. We move around the sun. And as that happens, the sun is not going to be as strong at some point, so you'll have to go move these things around. Also, you'll have cloud cover. When I decided to charge mine, it was a heavy overcast day, which was great for my testing because during hurricane season, right after the hurricane or during the hurricane, you actually do have a lot of overcast. So I wasn't getting that great of a charge. I was getting like, I don't know, probably maximum like, I don't know, 100 and something watts out of all 3 of them because it was such an overcast day and the charging was super slow. But on a super bright sunny day, you're gonna get up to 100 watts per panel, and that's gonna equal 300 watts. And that'll get this thing charged up in about 8, maybe even 10 hours on a slow day. Now, before I get out of here, I do want to share a few details with you. Right here, we have a light strip. Just by pressing this button right here 3 times, you can kind of toggle the brightness of this light until it turns back off. You see this nice bright display here. we're charging, or we're discharging. Right now we're at 93%, and we have pretty much 8 hours remaining time left on this thing as we pull 94 watts out of it. I'll tell you what I'm pulling out of it, or what I have plugged up, in just a moment. But I also want to tell you, in order to get this thing to work, you do have to turn on the section that you're using. So right now I have to turn on the AC outlet section. It's actually turned on right now, so if I press that button, it'll actually turn off. But if I come over here to the car outlet side, this is the car outlet I told you about earlier, I need to turn that on. It looks like there's no button for the USB, so they're always on. And I do have it in power saving mode, which is actually going to turn the device off. Like, let's say if you're charging a device like a phone or a tablet or something, once that device is actually fully charged, this thing is smart enough to know to turn itself off once the devices are fully charged. That way it doesn't keep discharging and discharging as time goes on. Now, I do want to share with you what I'm actually pulling out of here, man. We're pulling 90 watts because I'm watching Sanford and Son on this 50-inch TV. So it's actually pulling 90 watts out of here. And I'm actually connected to the internet. This is Amazon TV, or Amazon Prime TV, that I'm playing right now. And it is actually running an extension cord through that and going into the Powerhouse 757. Now look, let me come back in the frame. I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff, but what I do know is I don't go camping. I'm not an outdoorsman or nothing like that. I've got this thing for emergency case scenarios. And it looks like it's gonna do everything I wanted it to do, and then some. So I'm really excited about having it. I'm ready for hurricane season, and in case another one of them ridiculous freeze comes and ERCOT decides to bully us down here in Texas, I'm gonna be ready, man, thanks to the 757. This thing is all right, man. I'm glad I got it. Either way, I'm getting out of here. Y'all keep being good to each other, and I'll see you when I see you.